Hello, everybody. Sorry, I did not get a coffee talk done this week. I was a day late getting into work, but something that I don't want to make sure that we get out really quickly. We have a 20 group in Collision Hub that is just dedicated to finance and financial advice and financial health of body shops. And Rachel, who runs that group, brought this to my attention today, and she wanted to make sure that everybody knew about it. So let's just, get right to it. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Say thank you to the federal government. Um, there is a requirement for businesses to report, and you have a deadline. And if you fail to meet that deadline, it will be a $500 a day fine. And what do they say? There are two things in life you can't avoid, and that's death and taxes. And so I would imagine you can't avoid the federal government on the fines for this one as well. But they're part of the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Is what's called the Beneficial Ownership Information Report, or the BOIR, and that has a deadline. So just so you know, it's part of the new Corporate Transparency Act of 2021. As the government seeks to kind of fight terrorism and money laundering, they want to know who owns all of these corporations. So you always, if you're watching TV shows, which I like the murder mysteries and cop shows or whatever, there's always a shell company that owns whatever. And so we're trying to figure out, of all the businesses that are in the United States, who really owns them. And that's what the Corporate Transparency Act is about. This will apply to most businesses in the United States. And for you body shop owners, or even you vendors that service body shops, this will apply to you. It applies to me, right? So if you are a corporation, if you are an LLC, or if you had to file documents with the Secretary of State of your state when you opened your business prior to January 1, 2024. So that's like right now, if your business has existed before January 1 of 2024, then you can, this will apply to you. If you're a business that started after January 1 of 2024, then you had 90 days to complete this when you started your business. So, but for all of everybody that was around beforehand, we were given this chunk of time in which we can do this. All right. You must declare who owns your business. So if you filed as an LLC, or you have multiple partners or investors or whatever, they want to know the names of all those individuals and then the identifying documents for them. So that may be a driver's license, it may be a passport, it may be whatever. And just think about it. The government's trying to figure out, why does this one person own 50 businesses or are involved in whatever? So for many of us, it's very, very simple to fill out. There's not much there, but you got to declare who owns your business and why. So if you have somebody that's an ownership, why do they have a share of your business? It's an attempt to prevent money laundering and identify fronts. So this is almost, I want to say, like it's an invasion, but it's almost like a patriotic duty. So I'm not too bad with that. I would strongly encourage businesses, but particularly shops, if you think that you meet this, or even if you don't think you meet this, it's good to have a conversation with somebody. So work with your CPA. If you have more questions, obviously, if you're in our 20 group, you have access to Rachel. You can call Rachel. She can help you get through this. But because it's reporting to the federal government, kind of don't want to mess this one up. So you might want to visit with your CPA, go over your incorporation documents, your LLC documents, anything that you filed with the state that you're in. Make sure that you do everything properly. There is online filing, and it is very, very easy for you to do. So you can technically go on. There's the website, what it looks like. You can click the prepare to submit your BOIR. It doesn't take very long whatsoever. I think Rachel was telling me she did hers, and she just had to do a driver's license, click a couple buttons, and boom, she was done. But even she talked to her CPA before she did this. So, hey, if Rachel's talking to somebody before she does it, then I know that I better talk to somebody before I do it, because I'm not near the brain that she is about finances and regulations and all of these things. All right, you have till January 1, 2025, which means you're coming up on a month before you're going to hit this deadline. If you do not have it done by January 1 of 2025, it will be a $500 a day fine for every day you go over. And I'm not really sure what happens if after you go over too long, they don't come looking for you, and what that would look like. So please make sure that you can Google it, you can visit the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network's website, you can read all about it. We have also put all of the documents into a share folder in Google Drive. So there's some PDFs. some tutorials, some explanation sheets. There's a step-by-step filing guide for you. There's all kinds of documents in that folder. So if you are not familiar, you can click in that. I'm going to put that in the link of the post and in the description of the video. That way anybody can click on it and just get in there. That's what we call our collision collective. It's just a big Google Drive that we put up in space that anybody can dump information in. So if you're poking around in there and you happen to be from the state of Tennessee and you have some interesting documents that you think other shops in the state of Tennessee would be able, then there's a Tennessee folder and you can just go dump stuff in there. But we just set that up so it's a way for shops to share information free of charge so that you're not having to pay somebody to get access to other shop documents and help each other. So the Federal Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, the BOIR, it is due by a majority of businesses in our industry by January 1, 2025. Get to clicking, get to talking to your CPA. If you have questions, concerns, comments, I don't know anything, right? Like that's not my circus, not my monkey. I'm not good at it, but we do have Rachel. And if you're in our 20 group, well, then Rachel definitely is there to consult and advise you and help you through it. And if you're not in our 20 group, well, you probably ought to think about joining because we cover, well, I don't cover, Rachel covers all of this stuff all the time and make sure that all of us are compliant and we are where we need to be. So hope you guys are having a great week and I will see you back next Monday with an actual detailed coffee talk. And boy, do I have some good things to talk about.